Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this free recap video, I'm going to address probably one of the more popular questions that I am getting right now, and that is, Raghee, are you and how do you day trade the current volatility? And there's a couple shifts that we're making, and the first one is on the charts themselves. Every week, typically on Monday, I reassess the market trend on different time frames, scanning to time frames as small as a 1 all the way out to the daily. And I'm looking for where there's either a good trend or good clarity in the market. Most of you that know how to use the grab candles and the 34 EMA wave are already very familiar with that. And there's a lot of free content on that, either at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel or within the Learning Center if you're a member. So this is a free indicator. I've got a lot of free content on it. Heck, if you just Google grab, G-R-A-B, candles and 34 EMA wave, you will get just a plethora of coverage on them, okay? So I assess what the best market trend is. Right now, I feel it's the 480, and that's what you'll see populated across the top here, the longer term time frame. And by the way, that NASDAQ on today's rally got to, and arguably to, a very initial level of resistance. This Darvis and the 34 EMA on the low right here. Quite frankly, because we've bounced as high as we have previously, I'd like to see something a little higher by way of a bounce. We may not get it, but considering all the, especially Thursday, considering the kind of data that we have coming out that's going to affect the NASDAQ this week. Take a look at the earnings Thursday. Probably if there's going to be that opportunity to short that higher high, higher within the lines of the 34 EMA wave, it'll probably be then, if at all. So, make a note to yourself. Thursday, big day for earnings, when the tail wags the dog. So, first of all, we pick those longer time frames. The second thing we'll do is just go to a 1-minute chart. And our 1-minute chart setup is this. I put a volume-weighted average price. Now, there's two that I use. One is the standard deviation, and the other is the maximum permissible deviation. So the MPD and the standard STD. And that's why I have two lines to both what we call the upper and the lower levels of the VWAP, which is volume weighted average price. So I'm using this right now in lieu of the hourly price movement range. Reason being is once that volatility went ballistic, essentially, went way up high on vol, the market is basically causing the auto chartists that I use, the hourly price movement ranges that I use day in, day out, it's causing them to recalibrate. And that recalibration takes a little bit of time. But once this volatility settles down, and then auto chartists will reflect that, we'll be good to go for who knows how long, months, years, who knows, until that next sudden burst of drama unfolds on the market again. It doesn't happen that often. Most shifts in volatility aren't as dramatic as what we saw in, say, February, or what we saw just last week, about 10 days ago. Not usually. Usually it's a gradual increase, which is why the auto chartist usually is calibrated really perfectly throughout the year. But when and if it has to play catch up like it is now, what we do is we use the more sensitive of the readings, which is the expected price movement range. And right now we're using a clever little formula. Right now, we're using the 1-minute chart, the expected price movement range, plus the VWAP. And that is how we are day trading. That is what we're doing right now. That is how we're day trading. So in terms of the way in which we're understanding this zone, it really is, and folks are asking me, well, Rog, what is the VWAP? Forget the definition. You can look that up. This is resistance. This is support. And depending upon whether you're coming down to this level or whether you're coming up at this level, This is either going to be downside resistance or this is going to be upside support. So, and that's that average or middle band. Okay, this line right here, this average or middle band coming across here. So having said that, one of the things that we did into the close today was actually short this area. And in the premium video, I'll get into a lot more detail about this. But if you're using this for the first time or kind of getting used to it, once you've got the VWAP set up, try to experiment with the levels and see how they work. Again, I use a VWAP in a short-term time frame, 1 minute preferably. And that's how we're doing a lot of our day trades. And when you use the EPMR and the VWAP, what's really cool is it's almost completely automated for you. There's nothing really to have to do other than read the expected price movement ranges on the AutoChartist platform and look at where the VWAP upper, average, and lower bands are plotting. Could not be easier. Hope this helps. Check it out for a few days. Do some observation. I think you're going to see certain patterns of rejection and support happening again and again.